Here we go. Whenever I think of Brian, I think of essentially one story. And it was when we were working together on the bar, and who I had been seeing at the time basically decided to break up with me on the phone. Within about 20 minutes, Brian was like, "Did something happen?" And I just was like, "Yeah, the guy that I was seeing, just told me it wasn't going to work out, and I'm just really bummed because I really liked him." And he was like, "Oh, come on over for dinner tonight. Like, we'll just, hang out, just the boys, and we'll just and he's like, "No big deal, it's just going to be leftovers." He was in the kitchen, and I remember him showing up from the kitchen, and he had these 2 shot glasses and this bottle of limoncello that he'd gotten out of the freezer. And he sat down, and he put 1 shot glass in front of me and him, and he said, "All right, sweetie, now the real work begins." And we sat there and talked about the relationship and just sort of love in general, and basically polished that bottle off.
Brian and I took 3 weeks in India, and we went sari shopping because Brian loved fabric. And we would go into a sari shop, and we would come out 3 hours later, and there would be piles of fabric because they would be pulling all these saris off the shelf and showing them to us.
And my first day of training at the alley, he was supposed to train me. It was like 6 in the morning. Mary Gallagher hadn't shown up. Paul was an hour late. He was like, "Sweetie, I got to go on the bar. You're going to be on your own. I'm so sorry. Good luck to you." So my first day of training, I'm like washing dishes, doing whatever. I'm just like, all right, I'll just stock things. And after that, Paul came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, you're so on Brian's good side right now for being so good." It's like, "You are set, dude. You are set." From then on, I was good until I ended up on his shit list once.
Brian was giving Teal cooking lessons 1 night a week, which, was so true to Brian's character. He just loved every individual person, and if you wanted to know something, Brian was right there to help you learn it.
He always had some new music he wanted me to hear or some new book to read. I think I wouldn't be the poet, musician, and artist that I am today, and I wouldn't have the profound understandings of the spirit world if it weren't for his influence on my life.
When I had first moved to Seattle, I was looking for a job. I'd been in the city for maybe a week at that point. And I went up to Vivace to get coffee because everyone said it was the best. And Brian was working. And I get up there and I said, "Hey, I wanted to give you a resume because I, was looking for a job and I was wondering if you're looking for anybody." And the first words he ever said to me were, "Well, not right now, sweetie, but you never know when someone's going to piss me off."
The thing that sticks with me about Brian is that I used to see him all the time at the Sidewalk Cafe, and I could hear him laughing from across the street. His laughter could fill a city block.
I'm just going to miss him a lot. Yeah, he was a really, really good guy. Not much else I could say,
Long live the Queen!